Most of us think that cataracts are a problem that only older people have. But actually, believe it or not, cataracts are the leading reason why children go blind. There are about 100,000 blind or severely visually impaired children in South Africa, and about half of them would still be able to see had they received the right eye care at the right time. Orbis is an international sight-saving organization that took to the skies in 1982 with its flying eye hospital, the world's only eye hospital on a plane. The Orbis teams are dedicated to improving pediatric eye care services in developing countries. I spoke to Dr. Pabu from the Orbis clinic in Durban about how their work is helping children to see. What is it that we're supposed to look out for to know if our children have cataracts or anything like that?
It's often difficult for parents to pick up on pediatric cataracts early enough. It becomes an obvious diagnosis when you look into the pupil of a child's eye. So it's normally black, and in a pediatric cataract or obvious cataract, it's a white pupil.
Yes.
So that's a very obvious diagnosis. So therefore we rely on healthcare workers to pick up on cataracts or visual problems in children early. The other signs that you can look at is the way in which your child interacts with the environment. You know, they tend to bring objects very close to them when they have poor eyesight. They often can squint. And the other thing would be related to them bumping into objects in their line of sight.
At what age should one start taking their child for specific eye checkups?
At the age of 2 to 3 years of age.
Wow.
Should be a reasonable time to have your child's vision assessed, especially if there's a family history of eye problems.
Orbis opened its eye care center in KwaZulu-Natal 2 years ago. KZN is one of the most populated provinces, and 28% of blind South African children live in KZN. Preventing child blindness helps individuals, families, and communities to develop and be self-sufficient. Now let's talk a little bit about childhood blindness. How much of a problem is it in South Africa, would you say?
If you compare South Africa to the rest of the world, South Africa probably falls under the developing world. So essentially South Africa's burden is 10 times higher than the developed world. So if you had to look at 1,000 children, figures quoted of 15 blind children per 1,000 population of children. So pretty high compared to the developed world, which, and when you're looking at the treatable causes for childhood blindness, I think that in South Africa we predominantly face with causes such as pediatric cataracts, lack of access to spectacles, which in a proportion of children that have high refractive errors, the children end up with lazy eyes or poor eyesight as a result of their lack of access to spectacles. And then you have the minor causes, which do contribute quite significantly to childhood blindness.
What should parents and caregivers do if they suspect that their child may have a problem with their vision?
I think that the mother's instinct or parent's instinct is something that they must follow, because often persistence by a parent often reveals that the child actually has a significant problem. So if your suspicions are aroused, I think the first step is to go to a healthcare worker. A healthcare worker will often send you to a regional hospital. A regional hospital will most probably have an ophthalmologist, and an ophthalmologist would be the person to ascertain whether your child has normal vision or if there are any ophthalmic problems that we need to address. And that would lead to the appropriate management and timeous management of your child.
Most sight problems can be treated, but as Dr. Pabu said, the longer you leave it, the worse it's going to get. So make sure that you get you and your children's eyes tested regularly. Wear glasses if you need to. Protect your eyes from the sun, and if you do suspect any problem with you or your children, have it seen to sooner rather than later.